Welcome to the Bigfoot Files. I'm your host, Ben Carter. Deep in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, in the dense, shadow-laden forest, a hiker stumbles upon an unworldly sight. The broken, twisted branches and trampled foliage suggest a struggle of some sort. But it's the print in the mud that halts the hiker in his tracks. A footprint, much larger than any human's, with a depth that suggests a weight beyond human scale, too. The hiker, armed with only a smartphone, quickly snaps a picture of the uncanny indentation before hastily retreating. Meanwhile, a few miles away, a family living off-grid reports a series of strange occurrences. Their log cabin, hidden amidst the towering pines, has been rattled by inexplicable noises in the dead of night, thuds, howls, and an eerie guttural hum. The father, a seasoned hunter, is left puzzled by unfamiliar tracks around the property, tracks that match the photo captured by the hiker. A chill runs down his spine as he contemplates the possibility of sharing the wilderness with an unknown creature. Across the state, an experienced park ranger gets an audio file emailed to him by a colleague. The sound clip, recorded on a remote trail, bears an unsettling non-human cry echoing through the forest, unlike any animal call he's ever heard. The ranger, a veteran of 20 years, is left perplexed and unnerved. These seemingly disconnected incidents, spread across the Pacific Northwest, are all tied together by one controversial and captivating possibility: the presence of Bigfoot. An age-old legend, Bigfoot has been a subject of fascination, skepticism, and fear. Sightings, footprints, eerie noises, they all add to the mounting evidence, which leads us to an unsettling and intriguing question. Can people really live among these elusive creatures? Some say they already do. They claim to cohabit the same spaces, to have developed an understanding of sorts, a mutual respect that allows them to coexist, what is known as Bigfoot Habituation. But is this really possible? Can humans and this legendary creature truly share the wilderness, living side by side in an uneasy yet peaceful coexistence? As we delve into this complex topic, we'll hear from eyewitnesses, researchers, and those who believe they are living among these enigmatic beings. We'll explore both the science and the mythology of Bigfoot, sifting through the tangible evidence and the anecdotal accounts in our quest for understanding. The hiker, the off-grid family, the veteran park ranger, all their stories suggest a reality that defies conventional belief. A reality where the myth and the man, the legendary and the living, the feared and the familiar, all converge in the dense, mysterious forests of the Pacific Northwest. A reality where Bigfoot, far from a mere figment of folklore, could be a living, breathing inhabitant of our world. Long before the term Bigfoot was coined, legends of large, hairy, bipedal creatures have been woven into the cultures of various indigenous tribes across North America. In the Pacific Northwest, the rich tapestry of Native American folklore mentions such beings, known by different names across different tribes. The Lummi spoke of Tsemekwes, the Nooksack of Stiaha, the Klallam of Siatko, each of these names referring to a creature bearing striking similarities to what we now call Bigfoot. The tribes shared stories of these creatures, massive yet elusive. They were described as living in the wilderness, leaving behind large footprints, much like the ones found by our hiker. Some tribes considered them a part of the natural world, akin to animals, while others viewed them as more human-like, even attributing them with mystical powers. In the mid-19th century, as white settlers began to populate the Pacific Northwest, they too started to report encounters with an unidentifiable creature. A newspaper article from 1884 tells of a lumberjack who discovered a creature he called Jacko, described as something not quite human yet not quite ape, eerily similar to modern descriptions of Bigfoot. In addition to spoken legends and written accounts, there are also physical artifacts pointing to the existence of these creatures. Ancient petroglyphs found in the Columbia River Gorge depict large, hairy, bipedal figures. Could these carvings made by indigenous people centuries ago be representations of Bigfoot as they saw them? These early accounts and representations all point to a long-standing presence of Bigfoot-like creatures in the region, long before the first photograph of a large humanoid footprint made headlines in 1958. It suggests that the understanding of Bigfoot's existence has been deeply rooted in the culture and history of the Pacific Northwest, far from the product of modern imagination or fabrication. The stories and artifacts from the past create a historical foundation for the Bigfoot phenomenon. They offer a perspective that suggests that these creatures have coexisted with humans for centuries, albeit on the periphery of human awareness. This is the backdrop against which the modern accounts of Bigfoot sightings and habituations are set. They provide a lens through which we can view and analyze contemporary evidence and experiences, and possibly answer the question, can people really live among Bigfoot? A pivotal case in the study of Bigfoot habituation took place in the small community of Honobia, Oklahoma. It was here in the late 90s that the residents began to report strange and unnerving encounters with large, hairy, bipedal creatures. One family in particular, the Matthews, had more experiences than most. Their homestead, nestled deep in the Ouachita Mountains, became the epicenter of these encounters. The matriarch, Janice Matthews, was initially dismissive of the odd occurrences. Items disappearing from the porch, strange howls in the night, and enormous footprints in the dirt were attributed to common wildlife. However, as the incidents escalated, so did the Matthews' concern. The turning point came one night when Janice herself had a face-to-face encounter with a creature she could only describe as a Bigfoot. Janice's son, Jacob Matthews, was a keen hunter. Intrigued by his mother's encounter, he set up trail cameras around their property. The footage these cameras captured was nothing short of extraordinary. Large, shadowy figures could be seen roaming the periphery of their home, further cementing the family's belief that they were sharing their space with Bigfoot. These encounters were reported to local authorities, who initially dismissed them as pranks or misidentified wildlife. But as more residents came forward with their own sightings, the local law enforcement had to take notice. They called upon Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a renowned anthropologist and leading Bigfoot researcher from Idaho State University, to lend his expertise. Dr. Meldrum was intrigued by the case. His site investigation revealed multiple large, human-like footprints, with distinctive characteristics consistent with previous Bigfoot sightings. He also examined the trail camera footage and found it compelling, although he was cautious not to jump to conclusions. The Honobia case garnered the attention of other Bigfoot researchers, including the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO. Their involvement meant that the sightings were documented and investigated thoroughly. However, despite the wealth of testimonies and physical evidence, conclusive proof of Bigfoot's existence remained elusive. The case of Honobia, Oklahoma, stands as a testament to the experiences of those who claim to live among these elusive creatures. The Matthews family, along with their community, were thrust into an extraordinary situation, their lives forever changed by their encounters. Their testimonies, along with the physical evidence left behind, adds another layer to the complex narrative of Bigfoot. The question remains, however, can people really live among them? The core mystery of Bigfoot, as presented in this Honobia case, revolves around the collection of unexplained evidence. The most compelling of these are the large, human-like footprints found around the Matthews property. Dr. Jeff Meldrum noted the distinctive characteristics of these impressions, aligning with the profile of Bigfoot footprints found in other reported sightings. An elongated footprint with a notable lack of arch, a broad heel, and toes that resemble a human's but are proportionally larger. The hair samples found in Honobia were equally puzzling. Lab tests revealed they were not from any known animal species in Oklahoma or the wider United States. The hairs were coarse and noticeably thick, unlike anything you'd find on typical woodland creatures. Mitochondrial DNA tests were inconclusive, further deepening the mystery. In addition to these physical traces, there were the unexplained vocalizations, grunts, howls, and whistles in the night that didn't match any known animal sounds. Audio analysts could not identify a source for these sounds, and they stood out as distinctly non-human. These vocalizations were consistent with those reported in other Bigfoot encounters, adding more weight to the Matthews claims. Another baffling element was the missing time phenomenon reported by some of the eyewitnesses. This typically refers to a period where an individual cannot recall what happened, often associated with UFO sightings. In Hanobia, multiple residents reported experiencing a sense of lost time during their encounters. This unusual facet to their testimonies, although not common in Bigfoot lore, added a further layer to the enigma. The Hanobia case stands out in the annals of Bigfoot habituation due to the sheer volume of evidence, the number of eyewitnesses, and the involvement of recognized Bigfoot researchers. The physical traces, the vocalizations, the camera footage, and the testimonies build a compelling picture. However, despite this wealth of evidence, definitive proof, a clear, unequivocal photograph or video, a body or a live specimen, is yet to be found. The question remains, are we looking at a flesh and blood creature, an undiscovered species existing on the fringe of human habitation? Or are we dealing with a complex socio-cultural phenomenon, a blend of folklore, misidentification, and mass suggestion? The experiences of the Matthews family and their community add to this intricate tapestry, with the mysteries of Hanobia continuing to fuel the enigmatic legend of Bigfoot. Physical evidence, though sparse and often contested, forms a crucial part of the Bigfoot narrative. Cryptozoologists, scientists, and forensic experts have scrutinized these pieces of evidence with varying levels of skepticism or acceptance. Footprints are perhaps the most iconic evidence associated with Bigfoot. They range from 15 to 24 inches long, with a width of up to 8 inches. Some show dermal ridges, similar to human fingerprints, suggesting an organic origin. Forensic experts analyzing these prints have often been puzzled by their depth and the weight that would be needed to make such impressions. However, skeptics argue that these could be clever hoaxes, as footprints can be faked using wooden casts. Audio recordings of alleged Bigfoot vocalizations are also prevalent. These can range from high-pitched screams to low, rumbling growls. In 1978, the U.S. Navy's acoustics lab analyzed one such recording, known as the Sierra Sounds. They concluded that the vocalizations were from an unknown creature, not matching any known animal or human sounds. Although some argue that these could be cleverly manipulated or misattributed recordings, the peculiar nature of these sounds adds another layer to the Bigfoot mystery. DNA samples, purportedly from Bigfoot, have also been subjected to rigorous scientific examination. A notable example is a 2012 study led by Dr. Melba Ketchum, a Texas-based forensic scientist. Her team analyzed 111 alleged Bigfoot samples and claimed to have found a novel hominin species. However, the scientific community met these findings with heavy skepticism, citing poor methodology and lack of peer review. The samples were also contaminated with human DNA, making definitive conclusions impossible. Camera footage, such as the infamous Patterson-Gimlin film from 1967, have fueled the Bigfoot debate for decades. These grainy, often blurred videos and images depict large, bipedal creatures walking through remote woodlands. While some researchers claim these footages show non-human gait patterns, skeptics highlight the ease with which such evidence can be hoaxed using costumes and clever cinematography. In summary, the physical evidence for Bigfoot, while tantalizing, remains inconclusive. For every piece of evidence suggesting the existence of an undiscovered hominid, there are credible counterarguments stressing misidentification or deliberate hoaxing. The scientific community, therefore, remains largely skeptical, awaiting definitive, irrefutable proof of Bigfoot's existence. In the absence of this, the habituation cases like that of the Matthews family serve as intriguing, albeit ambiguous, narratives. They offer a glimpse into a world where the line between the known and the unknown, the tangible and the mythical, blurs intriguingly. The inherent mystery of Bigfoot is often met with a wall of skepticism by authorities, scientists, and the media. This skepticism is not unfounded, given the lack of definitive, universally accepted proof of Bigfoot's existence. For those in the scientific field especially, the burden of proof is on the claimant, not the skeptic. This is the cornerstone of scientific methodology. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Many scientists are wary of Bigfoot research due to its association with pseudoscience, or practices that are claimed to be scientific but do not adhere to the scientific method. It's not uncommon for scientists to dismiss Bigfoot studies outright, arguing that the field is riddled with hoaxes, poor methodology, and anecdotal reports. The dismissal, however, is not always due to the subject matter itself, but to the quality of research being conducted. The mainstream media, on the other hand, often treats Bigfoot as a source of entertainment, rather than a serious scientific inquiry. Bigfoot stories, especially sightings, are frequently packaged as amusing, quirky news items. This treatment, while seemingly harmless, can contribute to a culture of ridicule around the topic, discouraging potential witnesses from coming forward with their experiences. Authorities, too, have a history of dismissing Bigfoot sightings. Reports to local law enforcement are often met with incredulity, and serious investigations into these sightings are rare. Some have even suggested that there may be efforts to downplay or discredit sightings, to avoid causing public alarm or drawing undue attention to the area. While it's impossible to prove a concerted, widespread effort to suppress Bigfoot research, there's an undeniable trend of dismissal and denial. Many Bigfoot researchers and enthusiasts believe they're fighting an uphill battle, not only against the scientific community's expectations for rigorous proof, but also against a broader cultural narrative that mocks and marginalizes their work. To some, this skepticism and denial may seem like a necessary safeguard against misinformation and pseudoscience. To others, it represents a barrier to understanding and exploring the unknown. The question remains, if Bigfoot is real, how can researchers overcome this wall of skepticism and denial? How can they navigate the delicate line between rigorous scientific inquiry and a willingness to consider the extraordinary? These questions lie at the heart of Bigfoot research, and they are as complex and elusive as Bigfoot itself. The figure of Bigfoot is not only an intriguing mystery for researchers and enthusiasts, but also deeply imprinted in the cultural, spiritual, and symbolic fabric of several societies. This creature, whether real or imagined, has taken on a variety of roles in different cultures, each interpretation revealing something about the society that created it. In many Native American cultures, Bigfoot-like creatures are considered spiritual entities, powerful and somewhat elusive beings that inhabit the wilderness. The Sasquatch, as it's known in these traditions, is often regarded as a protector of the forest and its inhabitants, a symbol of the profound relationship between humans and nature. Some tribes even believe that the Sasquatch possesses supernatural abilities, such as the power to become invisible or to communicate telepathically. These beliefs suggest a respect for the unknown and a reverence for the natural world. Yet in other cultures, Bigfoot is seen as a more ominous figure, a monstrous entity that embodies our collective fears of the untamed wilderness. It represents the unknown, the uncontrolled, and the unpredictable. This interpretation of Bigfoot reflects a deep-seated human fear of what lies beyond the boundaries of civilization. In contemporary Western society, Bigfoot often takes on a somewhat different role. It is sometimes viewed as an interdimensional being, a creature that exists not just in our physical world, but also in other dimensions or realities. This interpretation, which is often associated with UFO and paranormal phenomena, suggests a fascination with the limits of human perception and understanding. It's also worth noting that Bigfoot is frequently used as a symbol in environmental discourses, representing the wild and untamed nature that is increasingly threatened by human activity. In this context, it embodies the wilderness that we, as a society, are rapidly losing. Regardless of the particular interpretation, Bigfoot serves as a mirror of our cultural fears, fascinations, and aspirations. It provides a lens through which we can explore our relationship with the natural world, our fears of the unknown, and our curiosity about the limits of human understanding. Whether Bigfoot is real or not, its cultural significance is undeniable. It represents a deep-seated human need to grapple with the mysteries of our world. The 21st century has seen a resurgence of interest in Bigfoot, fueled by a wave of reported sightings, viral videos, and increasingly sophisticated scientific investigations. In the age of the Internet, where everyone has a camera on their phone, Bigfoot has become a viral sensation, with countless videos purporting to show evidence of the creature's existence. These videos range from grainy footage of distant, shadowy figures to clear, close-up shots of footprints and other physical evidence. Some have been widely shared and scrutinized, sparking debates among both believers and skeptics. The Patterson-Gimlin film, shot in 1967, remains one of the most widely recognized and controversial pieces of Bigfoot evidence. This short film, which purports to show a female Bigfoot striding through a California forest, has been the subject of countless analyses and debates. Despite being over 5 decades old, it continues to be a focal point for Bigfoot researchers and enthusiasts. More recently, Bigfoot hunting has evolved into a subculture of its own, with dedicated groups embarking on expeditions into remote forests in hopes of capturing evidence of the elusive creature. Some of these expeditions have yielded intriguing results, with participants reporting sightings, hearing strange vocalizations, and even finding physical evidence such as hair and footprints. These efforts are not only capturing public attention, but also drawing the interest of some scientists. The field of cryptozoology, which involves the search for and study of creatures whose existence is disputed or unsubstantiated, has seen a surge in popularity and credibility. Some researchers are now utilizing modern technology and methodologies in their quest to prove the existence of Bigfoot. DNA analysis, for example, has been used in attempts to identify the creature. In 2012, a team led by Texas veterinarian Melba Ketchum announced that they had sequenced Bigfoot's genome using samples collected from various sites in North America. While the scientific community remains skeptical, Ketchum and her team stand by their findings, which they believe provide compelling genetic evidence of Bigfoot's existence. Infrared trail cameras, too, have become a popular tool in the hunt for Bigfoot. These cameras, which can capture images in complete darkness, are often set up in areas where Bigfoot has been reported in hopes of capturing photographic evidence of the creature. This renewed interest in Bigfoot and the use of modern technology to search for it has brought us closer than ever to potentially proving its existence. Or, it has simply opened up a whole new set of questions and debates about the nature of evidence, the boundaries of science, and the enduring allure of the unknown. Regardless of where the truth lies, one thing is clear: Bigfoot continues to captivate our collective imagination, reflecting our enduring fascination with the mysteries of the natural world. On the outskirts of mainstream research, one can find individuals and groups with ideas that stray far beyond the conventional. In the realm of Bigfoot habituation, these fringe theories and radical speculations push the boundaries of our understanding of reality. Some theorists propose Bigfoot as a dimensional traveler. This hypothesis posits that the creature can move between different dimensions or alternate realities, appearing and disappearing at will. This, they argue, could explain the seeming paradox of Bigfoot's ubiquitous presence yet elusive nature. It would also account for the difficulty in capturing solid, irrefutable evidence. Another theory suggests that Bigfoot might be the result of government experiments. In a world where genetic engineering is becoming increasingly advanced, some argue that Bigfoot could be a product of secret scientific endeavors, possibly intended as a super soldier or as part of a larger ecological project. This theory often points to alleged government cover-ups and the destruction or confiscation of Bigfoot evidence by mysterious individuals or organizations. A third speculation involves extraterrestrial life. The proponents of this theory propose that Bigfoot is an alien or an alien-human hybrid. This idea is often tied to reports of UFO sightings and alien abductions in areas where Bigfoot sightings are prevalent. The theory suggests that these aliens might either be using Earth as a testing ground or living among us, disguised as Bigfoot-like creatures. Lastly, there are those who believe Bigfoot is more than just a physical entity. They propose that the creature is a guardian of sacred sites, protecting areas of spiritual significance from human encroachment. This idea connects Bigfoot to indigenous myths and legends, where similar creatures often play protective roles. Some even suggest that Bigfoot may possess psychic abilities, allowing it to communicate telepathically or influence human emotions and perceptions. These theories, while often dismissed as outlandish by mainstream science, are fervently believed and explored by certain individuals and groups. They reflect the depth of human curiosity and our willingness to consider even the most radical possibilities in our quest to understand the unknown. These ideas may not have the empirical backing of traditional science, but they undeniably add a rich and intriguing layer to the Bigfoot narrative. As we've seen, the world of Bigfoot habituation is a complex one, full of contradictory evidence, passionate believers, and persistent skeptics. Despite the numerous eyewitness accounts, the collection of footprint casts, and the endless hours of video and audio recordings, the existence of Bigfoot remains an open question. The creature continues to elude definitive classification, slipping through the gaps in our understanding like a phantom in the woods. Indeed, the lack of a physical specimen, whether living or deceased, is the primary obstacle to confirming Bigfoot's existence. Until such evidence is produced, Bigfoot will remain within the realm of the unproven, a creature of folklore and speculation rather than of science. But what if such evidence were found tomorrow? Would it bring closure to the mystery, or would it merely open new questions, new debates, and new areas of inquiry? The chances of a breakthrough in our understanding of Bigfoot are, of course, impossible to predict. They depend on a combination of factors, including the collection of new evidence, advancements in scientific technology, and shifts in societal and scientific attitudes. The field of cryptozoology, once dismissed as pseudoscience, is gradually gaining recognition as a legitimate area of study, which could potentially pave the way for more rigorous, systematic investigations into creatures like Bigfoot. Yet, even if we were to confirm the existence of Bigfoot, the mystery would not end there. We would still need to understand its origins, its behavior, its ecology, its genetic makeup. We would need to grapple with the philosophical and ethical implications of its existence. How would we coexist with such a creature? What rights would it have? What responsibilities would we have towards it? Beyond these practical considerations, the discovery of Bigfoot would prompt us to reevaluate our understanding of the world and our place within it. It would challenge our assumptions about what is possible, about the limits of the known and the unknown. It would remind us that even in an age of scientific and technological marvels, there are still mysteries waiting to be unraveled, still wonders hiding in the shadows of our ignorance. So, we are left contemplating a question that is as intriguing as it is perplexing. Is Bigfoot real, or is the truth even stranger? Could the enduring mystery of Bigfoot be a reflection of our own complexities, our own elusive nature? As we search for Bigfoot, are we in some sense searching for ourselves? This perhaps is the ultimate enigma that Bigfoot represents, a mirror to our own curiosity, our own fear, our own desire to understand and be understood. In the end, the search for Bigfoot is not just about finding a creature. It's about exploring the depths of the human experience. Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of the Bigfoot Files. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.